Valor Mortis is the new first-person Souls-like game set in the Napoleonic era by the developers of Ghostrunner series, One More Level. The demo recently released and I've been loving every second of it. So much so that today, we'll be beating Valor Mortis' demo without using your main weapon, the sword. Generally, this is the first weapon you start with at the beginning of the demo, and presumably the full game, it's imperative to use. The weapon never degrades, you can slash and parry as much as your endurance bar can take, and when you're finally out of breath, your endurance regens like nothing happened and you're ready to swing again. But many of us already understand melee combat and how it works. So how will I beat this demo without using the sword? Well, first subscribe to the channel to not miss any Souls content in the future. Now here's how we did it. You begin the game waking up in a pit of deceased soldiers, not knowing what's truly transpired. As our character William shits himself from seeing a few crows, I do what any normal person would do, and draw my sword, which once again, from the title and me explaining what's going on, we will not be using it. Yell at what I think is an allied Frenchman, and nearly fall to my death, but thank God I can inject Baja Blast into my veins and act like nothing happened. Run past these infected friendlies, read a note which is like the holy grail for lore heads, as we find out we're still using the French Republican calendar, meaning this is taking place between 1793 and 1805 when Napoleon Bonaparte became emperor. Dashed by our friends Alexei and David, where they kept my trusty cavalry pistol. Immediately this comes into play as showing a core mechanic of shooting Neftaglobe weak spots in the environment, but also on enemies which deal extra damage and will spawn purple Neftaglobe energy on the ground that we can consume to fill our purple meter. I'll explain what that does in a moment, but first, let's rest our lantern, which acts as a bonfire or set of grace where we can upgrade our stats. Anywhere from max HP and endurance to posture damage on parries. The latter not being the most useful for this challenge, but interesting for future builds. You'll also be transported here when you die, and just like any Souls-like game, you drop your catalysts upon death and can retrieve them from the spot you last fell. Along with resting, you replenish any missing resources, which include our ferro fluid flasks, 10 bullets for our pistol, missing HP, and refills our Neftaglobe meter. Which reminds me, let's grab a core weapon that mirrors Bioshock all too well with our fire transmutation. This ability uses up our Neftaglobe meter and creates a really cool synergy between the pistol and shooting Neftaglobe weak spots, replenishing our meter, and being able to use our fire ability once again. So we'll be switching between the two constantly in this run, and since we have both weapons, let's do a little farming to level up and upgrade our max Neftaglobe meter. By doing this, we're powerful enough to be able to backtrack to fight our first mini-boss. Combat is extremely precise in this game. The enemy tracking on attacks is spot on, so the timing for dodges and parries also have to be precise. But after many burns and more shots to the dome than a raging alcoholic, we died. Like I said, precision is key, and it did take some time to adjust to this first-person style game. Enemies get right in your face compared to the third-person Souls-like style many of us have been accustomed to. But luckily, the second time around flowed much easier, plus we played like 6 or 7, don't comment it, runs at this point, so we already knew what to expect. We take down this mass menace and receive an amber as a reward. There are actually 5 ambers in this demo, all giving different types of playstyles and quality of life. Seeing as how more amber slots open up as you continue to level, there's going to be a lot of variety of builds on full release. But for now, and for this challenge, we'll be using the Life Diverted Amber, which swaps our Ferro Fluid Flask from replenishing HP to replenishing our Neftaglobe meter. Along with that, the damage dealt from our transmutation will restore a portion of missing HP. From here, we're on a mission to collect pistol charges and Neftaglobe vials to deal with the final boss, along with Catalyst Clots, which can be converted into souls or catalysts in this game to further upgrade our character. Now, as we push through this demo, glocking baddies and cooking up a meal for 3, the developers did a great job at creating a variety of gruesome enemies that I was not expecting, like this brutish enemy that throws bombs to a soldier turning into a dog before my eyes. Why are there always fucking dogs, man? But what I will say is the designs are really well done, and the atmosphere had me truly immersed in this game setting. It seems there's an overarching backstory of Napoleon either being a spirit in your head whispering sweet nothings, or flashbacks of Napoleon conversing with you as you'll see these snippets of time slowing down. I can't wait to see more of this and see how the story evolves as time goes on. While you travel through this demo, you'll encounter this man named Lucian, who is the creator of these lanterns and seems to be an inventor who will show up to aid you more as the game progresses. I'm assuming he'll be one of the main people to give you new weapons, as we've already seen images of a rifle being implemented into the game as well, so can't wait to see what other weapons will be cooked up in this project. While new abilities will most likely come from where we received our fire transmutation. Some strung up corpse just looking to get their heart ripped out. Anyways, Lucian suggests we seek out our commander. So we act as a modern police officer officer from the 21st century. Shun asks questions later as we move on to this last stretch of enemies before reaching this wide open area. If you've played Souls-like games, or really any games that involve a boss fight, you can already tell what's coming up next. We're presented with the first boss of this game / demo, General Lothair the Eagle Bearer, who comes equipped with 3 flintlocks, a saber, and banner to overcome. My main strategy with this fight is to get burn stacks on him, which staggers his bulbous frame for a short time, while blasting his weak spots to produce more Neftoglobin to continue the rump roast that everyone grabbed a plate for. This is generally a great first boss fight, as you have to utilize your entire arsenal to take him down. Having the sword taken out of play makes this an extremely tough fight as we have limited resources, but luckily we're able to break him down enough to where he fully drops. Into his second phase. John Mortis, you son of a bitch. This is where the hoarding of pistol cartridges and Neftoglobin vials comes into play, as I literally need to use every last one of them to take Lothair out. And of course he has a new moveset, mechanics involving quick time shots or else he releases a devastating attack, and even summons adds into the fight. This boss really has it all. But while the remainder of this fight plays out, and we finish our no sword run, I'd like to give you my thoughts on this game, as there haven't been many Souls-likes that I've fell in love with like I did this one. Not only do I really enjoy the theme of the game being in a real historic era, but they fully play into it with this grotesque twist. I love the blending of many different games and concepts. I can see inspirations from BioShock, Lies of P, sprinkles of Dishonored, with an overarching theme of Souls at the heart of this project. When I first watched the trailer, I was a little skeptical as to how the first person would work, but I was immediately enamored by how the gameplay felt. The movement is very clean. Clearly from this challenge, I love the gameplay and transmutations, and while this video doesn't involve any melee combat, swordplay, or parrying, it feels really satisfying overall as well. Maybe it gives a reason to try it for yourself, hint hint nudge nudge. And to be completely honest, I'm not sponsored to make this video or give this type of review. I've just had a great experience with it so far and would love to see this project get more love from others who enjoy Souls games, especially those who want to try something fresh and interesting. Which is why I should probably give a couple criticisms to make me sound non-biased. While playing, I did notice 2 glitches occur. One that I recreated multiple times, where dodging into an object, wall, or uneven terrain will get your character stuck. It proves to be very frustrating, especially if future boss arenas have obstacles to parkour or traverse on. The other glitch, which seems like it'll be a possible speedrun strat, is where an enemy's posture is broken because of parries. You can attack them from far enough away to finish them off, but they'll still push you into a finisher animation that'll still launch you several feet ahead. Basically like a smaller version of a zip from Elden Ring. Besides that, I think enemy aggro, especially with the mini-boss fight, could be adjusted. I was able to pull this boss out of his arena, and my man hunted me to literally the ends of the earth. And this is a personal nitpick because of the challenge I just did, but it would be great to be able to have all weapons be interchangeable between hands, so instead of having my pistol and fire transmutation in my left hand while the sword only being in my right, it would be nice to see all the weapons placed in any hand. The rifle image showing the gun being a 2-handed weapon, but primarily in the right hand, makes me think this is a possibility in the future, and I would love to see it. Another nitpick because of the challenge, I know I want this to be easier, it's not my fault. In Lothair's boss fight, there would be some bullets that would spawn on the ground that you could consume, but there was never a constant stream, so I would always run out of ammo, so maybe hook your boy up on launch, please. As far as everything else that surrounds this game, I found it to be extremely refreshing, as I assume many of you are looking for something different in the Souls-like genre, since it's felt like a slog the last year or so. I've played through the demo about 8 times now, and it will probably take you about an hour. I'm excited to see more from this game in the future, and would love to run a challenge run like this on full release. So as Lothair falls and disintegrates, Valor Mortis releases in December 2026, and I'll see you on release. Or not, I'm not your dad.